Hey everybody, today I'll be teaching you how to take Roundnet stats for all of your games. This is an app that got developed by Max Modell a few years back, and I've been using it pretty religiously over the last couple of years. I found it very helpful in terms of just breaking down what happens in a game outside of watching it. This app has really helped teach me areas that I can improve. It helps track serve percentage, number of errors, your hitting percentage, the number of aces you get. If you get aced a certain number of times, it really breaks down the game in a more detailed level. So let's just jump right into it. When you get started, you're going to need to make an account and just log in. Saves your login info, which is awesome. What you'll need to do at first is create teams that you'll be tracking. So before you can create any games or series, you'll need to create the teams. So for this example, I've created a bunch of teams over the course of the years of doing this. But for this example, I will be using Drawing Dead and Rogue in game two of the finals. So we have Drawing Dead here, and we have Rogue there. There were duplicates of Rogue. I don't really know why I created that at one point, but don't worry about it. You'll do new game once you have the teams created. Um, you could do official or pickup. To be honest, I've just always done pickup. Official apparently goes to the roundnetreferences.com, but what I've found is that like a lot of the time it doesn't populate there. So I just tend to always do pickup and keep it on my own app. It's just a lot easier. So um, do pickup. Now, we select Drawing Dead, and then we select Rogue. Okay, and yeah, you can enter all this info. To be honest, it's not something I really worry about too much, just because I'm looking for single game data. I'm not trying to track it on like an aggregate scale. So let's click into the game and get started. All right, so before we get into the game, I'll just quickly go through what all these buttons do. So on the top right, we have win point and lose point. That'll be how every rally will end. And it'll make more sense as we start taking the stats. Error is essentially anything I would classify it as any hitting opportunity that was in system where the hitter missed the hit completely, or any set where the receive or defensive touch was relatively in system and the set itself was unhittable. There's a key distinction there because anytime you have a set, even if it's flubbed, if the hitter still has a chance to hit the ball and contacts the ball, I wouldn't categorize it as an error. I would just give the setter a weak set. So looking on the left, you can see strong and weak. I categorize a weak set as anything that's pretty in system and the set doesn't really give the hitter the best options or is pretty off net. And then anything that's a strong set would be a set where it's a relatively out of system defensive touch or receive. And then the setter is making a set that's pretty incredible and gives the hitter some options. And then lastly, ace, which is just a quick way to end the point, of course, and it'll make more sense once we start taking these. All right, so what you'll notice is everything is tracked under the current play at the top of the screen. How you take stats is that each player that touches the ball, you'll tap their name. So how we kick this off is Ryan was the server, tap on Ryan. Tyler received it, tap on Tyler, and then I was the setter. Now, in this specific case, the set that I had would be considered a strong set. It was pretty out of system. It gave Tyler a few options of the hit. So I would give myself a strong set. If it were a weak set, what I could do is press the undo button at the top right, give weak, and then Tyler would be the hitter. But like I said, in this case, this would be a strong set by me. Tyler was the hitter. And then to continue the rally, Ryan gets the touch, Thomas is the setter, and Ryan's the hitter. I wouldn't call the set that Thomas had a strong or weak set. It was just very in system, sort of exactly what he was supposed to do, which I guess you could argue that it's a strong set. But the way I categorize strong sets are ones that were out of system, then turned good. So in this case, Ryan was the last person to touch the ball, and they won the point. So you tap win point.
Yeah, yeah. What is going on?
So on this play, as you can see, Ryan's highlighted, meaning he should be the server. It's important to know that with equal serving, the app doesn't recognize equal serving, and it's always tracking for traditional serving. So the highlighted person to serve isn't always that person with equal serving. But with traditional serving, it's a lot easier, and you don't have to pay as close attention. So with this specific point, Ryan was the server. I received it. It was a little out of system, I'd say, but Tyler still had plenty of time to give me a better set than he did. So in this specific case, I would give Tyler a weak set. And then the reason it's not an error is I still had the chance to hit. So I was the hitter, and we did not win the point. So in this case, it would be lose point. An ace is one of the easiest things to track within the system. All you have to do is tap the server and then ace, and then the person who got aced.
Yes, yes.
On this next point, Ryan is still serving, this time to me. Tyler's the setter. You could make the argument this is a weak set. However, I would say it is a little bit hard to classify this as a weak set. And this is where a lot of the gray area comes with stat keeping. So you have to make sure you're at least like relatively consistent with the way you take stats. The way I would categorize this set is that it was definitely a little bit tough for Tyler, considering my receive wasn't perfect. And I think he gives me enough here where I should definitely at least get it on the net. So I wouldn't categorize this as a weak set, even though you probably could. And I would just call it a regular set. And I was the hitter. And in this case, you could also say it's maybe an error by me that I just hit it straight into the rim. But because I'm swinging off net lefty and it's a bit of an out of system set, I would just call this lose point. Again, it's really tricky to define a lot of this stuff, so it's up to you. But I'd say the biggest thing is just be consistent about it. So this is another one that's pretty tough to define, also a little bit of a gray area. I know that we were speaking about how traditionally, if a set doesn't give the hitter any opportunity to hit, it would be an error. However, in this case, I want to say Tyler's receive is so out of system that a set back to the net here isn't actually that frequent. Even though I think, that's the type of set that I expect myself to make a lot of the time. It's a very tricky one to do, and I will say that I think Tyler could have at least made an effort to swing on the ball. So we have a few different options. First, Ryan serves to Tyler, and I'm the setter. The first one we could do is just Ryan, Tyler, Kieran, lose point right here and there. We could also do Ryan, Tyler, Kieran, weak, and then lose point. And we could do Ryan, Tyler, Kieran, error, which loses point. I think I'm going to pick the middle ground here, which is not the most punishing nor least punishing. And that would be Ryan, Tyler, Kieran, and then weak. And I think that's a good middle ground here because you could make the argument that it is just a straight error by me. But because it's so out of system, I wouldn't make that claim. And then I would also say that it's not just a lose point on my touch because I definitely should have given him at least something here. So I'm going to mark it as a weak set and then a lost point.
Again. I'm sick. Yeah, yeah. Again. Yeah, you got me. Yeah, yeah.
All right, we got a long rally here. So it starts with Ryan serving to me. And then Tyler setting me, which I think his set, you could maybe make the argument is a weak set. However, I think I had enough options here. Like it was an off net set slightly to my right arm, but I think that I could have like chipped it. I could have hit something low. I didn't hit the best shot, so I'm not going to give Tyler a weak or strong set in this one. And I will give myself the hit, who then hits it to Ryan. Key distinction here. So anytime there's a soft touch, I like to give the person who gets the touch a strong play. Considering soft touches are extremely strong, I will give Ryan a strong here. and then Thomas is the hitter. And there isn't a perfect way to do soft touch. That's just the way that I track it. Because unfortunately, you can't do like Ryan, Ryan, then Thomas. It has to be Ryan, Thomas, Ryan, or Thomas, Ryan, Thomas, etc. When the app was built, soft touch didn't exist. So the way I like to track it is Ryan with the strong, then Thomas hitting, and then I get the touch, and Tyler sets me. And again, slightly off net to my left hand, but I think this is one where I could have chipped it. I could have hit low shot, could have hit something a little bit better than I did. I hit it right to Ryan again, who gets another strong soft touch to Thomas. He kind of whiffs the hit right to me. This next set by Tyler, I would classify as a weak set. There wasn't really anything I could do with this one other than just rip it as hard as I could into Ryan. So right here, I would give Tyler a weak set, and then Ryan gets another touch. Thomas sets him and he hits it right to me again. Another one here where Tyler's set isn't perfect, but at the same time, it leads me opposite side of the net. It gives me a chance to dive and hit away from the defense. So I'm not going to give him a strong set. I'm also not going to give him a weak one. I'm the hitter, and nobody on Rogue touched the ball, so I'll give myself win point. If someone from Rogue did touch the ball here, it could be Thomas and then lose point. However, because Thomas or Ryan didn't touch it, it's just Kieran and then win point.
Ah, sorry. Yes. You.
On these next two plays, we have myself serving to Ryan, and I get an ace. And then I serve to Thomas. Ryan has a pretty in-system set to Thomas, and Tyler does not touch the ball, so Thomas wins the point.
Yeah.
Here's a good example of a strong set. So Thomas served to me. I did not have the best footwork, nor did I get the best receive. Tyler didn't have a lot of reaction time to get that set off to me. I think this is a pretty strong set considering it's middle net. I make a diving hit and no one touches the ball, so win point. Okay, I'm just going to speed through this because there were a lot of quick points. We have Tyler getting an ace on Ryan. And then all you have to do for a double fault is tap the server and then lose point. Very, very easy. We have Ryan acing me and then Ryan acing Tyler.
Yes. Ah, so bad. Oh my.
Okay, I'm just going to speed run these two because nothing really interesting happened. So we had Ryan serving to me, Tyler giving me an in-system set, and I hit. No one touched the ball, put away. I ace Ryan, and then I serve to Thomas. Ryan sets Thomas, pretty in-system. I don't get the touch. Thomas wins the point. And then Thomas serves it to me. Tyler gives me a good set. Nothing strong, nothing weak. I hit it, and no one touched the ball, so we win the point.
Yeah.
Next point here, Tyler gets a good serve off against Ryan and jams him up. Thomas is setting a little bit further away because of Ryan's weak receive, but you could make the argument this is a strong set because of that. However, I really don't love that he took this overhand and that it was pretty quick. I'm not going to give him a weak set because it still, directionally gave Ryan some options. I also don't think it's a strong set. I'm just going to give Thomas a normal set here, and then Ryan gets the put away.
Dude. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
On this next sequence, Ryan starts with acing Tyler, and then Ryan serves to me. Tyler sets me pretty in system. I hit it, and nobody touches the ball. And then I serve it to Ryan. And this time, I am going to give Thomas a strong set. Another pretty out of system receive by Ryan, and Thomas does a great job getting it back to the net, giving Ryan some options. Great put away by Ryan. No one touches the ball. They win the point.
My.
This time, Thomas serves to Tyler, who gets a really great receive. And I wish there was a way to give Tyler credit here. Like, unfortunately, if I do Tyler strong and then Kieran, it's going to give Tyler a set, which I really don't love because he was the receiver and he's not setting. So in this case, we just have to give Tyler a regular touch. And then I set and don't give Tyler the best set here. I'm going to give myself a weak set. Tyler still gets the put away and no one touches it, even though it hits back pocket, kind of just rolls up behind them. So Tyler, win point.
Yeah. All right.
Here we have Tyler serving to Thomas, Ryan in system set to Thomas. Tyler, a great touch here, and I'm setting. I don't think I gave Tyler the best set. Like, I think Tyler really cleans up from my like kind of average set here. Like, I give him a chance to hit it, of course, but it was a little off net. It didn't have the best spin on the ball. So I'm going to give myself a regular set here. It also wasn't weak. It gives him still a chance to hit the ball. So I'm gonna give myself a regular set, and then Tyler hit it. No one touched it.
Yep. Yeah. Where to go?
Here, Tyler drops it to Ryan. Thomas in system set back to Ryan. And this time Tyler does touch the ball, but we don't get it up. So just Tyler and then lose point.
Yeah. Yeah. You. Yeah.
Just going to speed run this sequence again. So we have Ryan double faulting. I ace Thomas, and then Ryan gets a good receive. Thomas in system set back to Ryan. Tyler doesn't touch the ball. They win the point, and then Thomas aces Tyler, and then Thomas double faults it to me. Here, Tyler serves it to Ryan. Another weak receive by Ryan, but I think Thomas needs to give Ryan something better than he does here. It's just pretty fast directionally off net to Ryan's left hand into Tyler and myself. So I'm going to give Thomas a weak set here, and then Ryan hits it to me. Tyler, pretty in system, not strong, not weak set. And then I hit the ball and no one touches it.
Yes. Yeah. Soft. Soft. No.
Here we have Tyler serving to Thomas, Ryan giving Thomas a pretty good set. I wouldn't call it a strong one though. And then Thomas hits it to Tyler, and he makes a strong soft touch play to me. Um, I hit the ball and put it away, and Ryan does not get the touch here, so I'm not going to give him lose point. It's just Kieran and then win point.
No. Yeah. No.
All right, lots of quick points. So we have Tyler double faulting, Ryan double faulting. I get an ace on Thomas, and then I get an ace on Ryan, and then I double fault.
Yeah. Go little here.
Here we have a great play by Thomas. So Thomas serving to me, Tyler setting me. Pretty good set too. Could maybe even call it a strong one, but I think it's in system enough that I'm just going to call it a regular one. And then I hit it to Thomas, who makes a strong soft touch to Ryan, and they win the point.
Oh. Yeah.
Here we start with Thomas double faulting, and then Tyler serving to Thomas, and I'm going to give Ryan a weak set here, off net to Thomas, not the best set in the world, and then Thomas, who hits the ball, but they don't get it back on the net, so it's just Thomas and then lose point.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. You.
All right, lots of stuff here. So it starts with Tyler double faulting. Ryan aces Tyler, and then Ryan serves it to me. Great receive by me. Tyler, good set, and then I get the put away. No one touches it. And then it's me serving to Ryan, and I get an ace. And then me serving to Thomas. Ryan, good set in system. Thomas hits like some chip shot that we don't get a touch on, and they win the point.
Yeah, you got me. Ryan, Ryan. Yeah, yeah, Yeah!
Pretty chaotic play here. So we have Thomas serving to me, Tyler setting me, and I whiff the hit right to Ryan, who then gets the set from Thomas. Ryan hits it into Tyler. Great soft touch here by Tyler, so I'll give him a strong. And then I hit it back to Ryan. Another good set from Thomas, but pretty in system. And then Ryan gets the put away, and I don't touch the ball.
Yeah!
All right, just to cap this video off, we have Thomas acing Tyler. If for whatever reason I mess it up, like say it was actually Ryan acing Tyler at the end, I could do a race last, and then that would get me back to the last point. So that's always something that is handy in case you mess one of these points up along the way. But we have Thomas ending the game, and then what we'll do is press done, and then it'll ask us just we want to confirm. We press end game. And here we are, the stats from the game. So we can scroll up and see just the serving stats. We can see that for the most part, serve percentage was pretty good across the board. Aces and aced. Obviously, a rough game here for Tyler, just on the receive end of things. Ryan and myself both with six aces. My put away percentage was not great, getting up to six times. Seven conversions each for both teams, so pretty rally centric game. And then just looking at the rest of this, lots of weak and strong sets across the board. Um, Interesting RPRs here at the end. I mean, everyone played decently well. Myself and Ryan definitely had the best games, but it's a really fun to take stats like this, get more and more data as you take more games. So hope you guys found this helpful, and yeah, see you guys at a tournament soon.